Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to throw some new parts at the CR250 as well as some older parts that I gave a new life. I know these intros have been kind of weird lately, but I didn't really have a plan during filming, so I never made proper ones. But anyway, let's get into the video. Alright guys, I got these bars polished up a little bit. As you can see, just took off that old paint, left a little bit here so you could see where to get it set. Still need to do a little bit more work and tighten this down and get the forks in, but pretty good. Just wanted to mock it up and need to get this held here because I'm going to put the radiators in right now, right here. So I am putting on the DeVol radiator guards. You can find them on Rocky Mountain if you want them. They're just a good radiator guard and brace for these old motorcycles. So let's get to it. Alright, you guys can see this is how they go on. Good protection here, and then there's a brace that kind of goes from here to the frame somewhere, I think right here, I'm not sure. But so stock radiator bolts here, one down here, one up here, Bolt MX kit. So I'm going to slide this hose out of the way here and get it right on here. Just 8 mil, pretty standard. Something like that. You can see the radiator. It's not fully tight yet, but that's relatively what it's going to be. I already got the rest of the hoses all set up on here. So this hose goes here. Need to get the other socket for tightening that, and then get the other side on. Now I gotta kind of line up all these hoses. Alright guys, so I did some work on the RC valve here. Let me pull it out. Got the wires already connected, but you can see polished the lumen up a little bit and lubed up the cables here, so let's get it in. So it's going to slide in to position around here where you can see I have it. Already got the wires in, so there's just 2 bolts for it. Should have done this before I threw the radiators on, but oh well. Got 2 cables here. This one here you can see just got a boot and a little simple adjuster here, so make sure the end is into the servo itself so you have enough room to slide the cable in like so, and then I can pull down, and then the other side's got this spring on it, so slide all this up. Got the same kind of adjuster. This side just doesn't have a washer. I don't know why. It's probably not stock, and it's got to go in this little holder here as well. So it looks like this little collar is going to go onto that holder. Then we got to pull this boot up and get it in, pull it down like so. And I'm actually going to need this guy nice and loose. Alright, so I cleaned up the voltage regulator a little bit here. So this is going to go right here and right here. So I also found the bolt for it just in one of those boxes. So this is going to go up here onto this little hook right here. It's a tight fit. Like so. That's where that sits, and then this is going to go just like so. Not that complicated. And I think the wire is gonna run down right here and come in. That just looks reasonable, like so. And plug into the wiring harness here. Okay, so it's actually gonna come down here and around the servo. Let's see if we can get this figured out. And there we have the click. So I'm just gonna check for a spark real quick, and then we can continue on. I'm gonna work on the swing arm next. Alright guys, I checked the spark. It's sparking good. So now let's get the chain slide and chain guide on our swing arm here. So we spent a while polishing up the swing arm here, getting whatever coating they put on and off, and just polishing it up. So it looks good. Through new bearings in at the pivot point right here, and had to patch up the spot where the chain wore through. So just slide the guide on like so. It's got a little notch that it indexes with, and then got to slide it over this little peg here that we got a screw for, and then we got our top screw, and same thing for the bottom here. Yes, this spot right here is where the chain wore through the old chain slide, so good to get a new slide in. Patch that up a little bit. Luckily it didn't wear into the bearing itself. So I did get a primary drive chain guide here for the swing arm here, billet. It's cheaper than the TM and it's the same color. So it's gonna go on right here. I'll have to see if I can figure it out. So we got a couple pieces here and our two halves. And I still gotta find a bolt for here, tighten all this down and check to make sure I got this in the right direction. But next clip you're gonna see is putting this onto the bike. Now actually I'm gonna put the axle blocks in first. Alright, so I got these axle blocks from Bolt MX, same company that I got all the bolts for this bike. They sell bolt kits. So it's just a nice touch to the bike and make adjusting things a little bit easier. So I'm gonna get her sliding on here. I already applied some anti-seize stuff they give you. And we did have to put a Healy coil in these threads because they were blown out. The bolts they had in them were just hardware store bolts, and they weren't even doing anything. They're just sitting there. The threads were completely blown out, so we were able to get a Healy coil in there, holding good. So I'll get this down around where I think it'd probably be, somewhere like that. And let's do the other side. I'm gonna have to file this side down a little bit. There's a little bit of extra metal there. Alright, let's get this swing arm here installed. You gotta slide this out of your way and get it in here like so. Just gotta turn it a little bit and we're good. So I do that. I'll get this knot in, torque it, and then I can get the linkage in. Alright guys, if I didn't already tell you, these are some Pro Taper contour bars that I polished out. They're super sun faded, so now they're brushed aluminum. And got this ASV clutch set up here. This was on the bike when I got it, so let's throw it on. Cleaned it up a little bit, greased it up. Alright, that's not final, but looks relatively close. I'll have to get it set up once it's all together. Alright, so this clutch cable here also came with the bike. Still good, just lubed it up a little bit. So let's get it in. Don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up fully, but it's gonna come down through here. It's gonna go under. It's gonna come over kind of with the wiring harness here. It's gonna go under the main frame rail and then through the motor mount. Through the motor mount and down into the flywheel here. You can kind of seat the cable in here, and now we got to get it into this thing. I don't know what you want to call it. It's part of the whole clutch. So it goes in just like that, and it'll seat so it won't come out. You got to pull from the other end to get it to seat and get it onto the clutch perch. I'll definitely have to get this all set once the bike's back together and running. It's probably not the correct engagement point, but I can tell it's working. So now we can throw on our gasket here, figure out which way it's gonna go, get a couple of these bolts going. Alright, just like that. Go back up into neutral here. Alright, I know that seemed kind of thrown together, but as I was recording these videos, I didn't have much of a plan other than to film, and I still managed to screw that up. But anyway, it's getting closer. It feels weird saying this since the bike already has 50 hours on it, but I hope you enjoyed the video. More coming soon, and as always, thanks for watching and have a fine rest of your day.